Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real straight and from the heart today. You don't need $1 million. You don't need a fancy education. And you sure don't need luck to change your life. What you need is a decision to do the small things right every single day. And you know what? It takes discipline. It takes consistency. It takes faith when the results ain't showing yet. Consistency in small action builds unstoppable momentum. It's not the loud, dramatic moves that shape our destiny. It's the quiet, repeated efforts that we put in day after day. Most people are waiting for that one big break, that one defining opportunity that changes everything. But the truth is, life doesn't work like that. Life responds to consistency. It respects discipline, and it rewards the person who shows up daily, no matter what. Think about it. The person who goes to the gym once a week for 3 hours won't see the same results as the person who shows up every single day for 30 minutes. The same applies to anything: reading, saving money, learning a skill, working on your passion. The more consistent you are, the more you gain traction. That traction becomes momentum. And once momentum is on your side, life begins to move in your favor. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean never making a mistake or never missing a day. It means committing to your habits even when motivation is low, even when the weather is bad, even the secret of small daily wins when no one is watching. It's about being loyal to your routine, because your routine is a reflection of your future. Every time you decide to keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you're building integrity within. You're training your mind to trust that you will do what you say. That inner trust is what makes you powerful. When you trust yourself, you no longer need approval from the world. You stop waiting for permission to succeed. You stop comparing your journey to others. You're focused on your steps, your grind, your growth. What happens over time is incredible. Those tiny actions that seem so insignificant start to accumulate. That 5-minute journal entry every morning starts to shape your mindset. That short daily walk becomes a space for clarity and peace. That one page you read turns into books that shift your thinking. That $10 saving habit turns into an emergency fund that gives you freedom. And all of this happens without fireworks, without attention, without applause. This quiet effort repeated over and over again. The best part is consistency is something anyone can master. Doesn't require talent. It doesn't require resources. It only asks for a decision and a discipline to follow through. Even if you start small, very small, you move it, and movement creates momentum. That's why some people seem to suddenly blow up or make it overnight. What people don't see is the years of quiet consistency that led up to that moment. They don't see the daily grind, the missed parties, the early mornings, the late nights. They only see the result. But the ones who were consistent, they know They know exactly what it took, and they wouldn't trade it for anything. There's something magical that happens when you stay consistent. Doors start opening. Ideas start flowing. People begin to notice your energy changes. You attract better things, not because the world changed, but because you did. You showed up when it was hard. You showed up when it was boring. You showed up when no one clapped, and now the world responds. That's the power of momentum. Once it's built, it carries you. What was once difficult becomes natural. What was once slow becomes steady. You start moving faster, aiming higher, believing more, and all of it traces back to one thing. Not luck, not chance, not timing, just consistency in small daily action. Success is hidden in what you repeatedly do, not in one-time efforts. People often admire the highlight reels of others, the big wins, the moments of applause, the grand achievements, and they assume those things were the result of some huge, extraordinary act, but that's rarely true. The real story behind success is filled with foundation of self-discipline, repetition, with boring discipline, with ordinary tasks done consistently over time. It's not the speech that makes the speaker great. It's the hours of writing, reading, editing, and practicing that go unseen. It's not the gold medal that defines the champion. It's the endless early mornings, the pain and training, the choice to keep going when giving up would have been easier. The real ingredients of success are usually invisible to the crowd, but deeply familiar to the one who earns it. When you look at your own life, you have to ask yourself, what are you doing every day? Not occasionally, not when you feel inspired, not only when things are going right. What do you do by habit, by routine, even when it's inconvenient? Because that's what's shaping your future. Habits are powerful. They are the patterns you repeat until they become part of you. If your habits are aligned with your goals, you move toward them, even without motivation. But if your habits are working against you, you stay stuck. Even if your dreams are big and your intentions are good. That's why it's not enough to set goals once a year or make big plans and moments of inspiration. You have to live in the practice of those goals daily. And the practice is made up of small, repeatable actions. The people who succeed long-term aren't the ones who made the biggest move once. They are the ones who kept doing the small things, right? The writer who finishes the book is the one who sits down and writes every day, even when the words come slowly. The entrepreneur who builds a business is the one who shows up daily to solve problems and serve customers, even when the results are uncertain. The person who transforms their health is the one who makes healthy choices every day, even when nobody else notices. These daily acts may seem unimpressive on the surface, but together they build a life that stands strong and steady. One time, efforts often come from bursts of excitement. You watch a motivational video. You attend a seminar. You read a seminar, powerful quote, and you feel inspired. That inspiration is valuable, but it's not enough. Emotion is the spark, but repetition is the fire. You don't change your life by getting excited once. You change your life by choosing again and again to do what matters. When you understand this, you stop chasing intensity and start respecting consistency. You stop asking how fast you can get there and start asking what you can do today to move closer. Repetition also gives you mastery. The more you do something, the better you get. You don't become skilled by trying something once. You become skilled by why small steps matter more than big leaps. Doing it again and again, improving just a little each time. Every repetition adds to your growth. Every repeated action trains your mind, strengthens your character, sharpens your focus. Over time, what once felt hard becomes automatic. What once felt uncertain becomes natural. That's the real reward of repetition. It transforms who you are. You may not see results right away. You may feel like your effort isn't paying off, but that's the nature of the process. Most success grows underground before it appears above the surface. You water the seed every day, and one day it breaks through the soil. But the breakthrough only happens because you kept showing up. You kept doing the right thing when it was still invisible. That's how success is created, not with a single leap, but with the quiet power of what you repeatedly do. Your daily routine creates your future lifestyle. Every single day, the things you choose to do or choose to avoid are designing the life you will live tomorrow. It may not seem obvious in the moment, but the small decisions you make each day carry enormous weight over time. From the moment you wake up to the time you go to bed, your actions are shaping your mindset, your health, your relationships, and your opportunities. The life you dream of isn't created in some far-off future. It's built in the little things you commit to regularly. Your routine is either leading you closer to your goals or pushing you further away, but it is never neutral. Each repetition becomes a brick in the foundation of your future. Most people underestimate the power of a routine because it feels ordinary. There's no instant gratification, no spotlight, new praise. But routines create rhythm, and rhythm brings results. The way a musician becomes great is by practice scales daily. The way an athlete stays sharp is by drilling basics every single day. The way a person becomes mentally strong is by feeding their mind positive focus input. Every morning, the power lies not in the complexity of the routine, but in the consistency of doing it over and over again. What you repeat becomes what you remember. What you remember becomes how you think. How you think becomes how you act, and how you act becomes who you are. Take a look at your own routine. What do your mornings look like? Do they set you up for focus, for energy, for purpose? Or do they start in chaos and stress, rushing and reacting? What do your evenings look like? Do they help you reflect, prepare, and rest? Or are they filled with distractions, noise, and wasted time? You don't need to have a perfect routine. Life is unpredictable and sometimes messy, but a strong routine doesn't require perfection. It requires intention. It means choosing to protect your time and direct your energy toward things that serve you rather than drain you. Even a few minutes a day spent on the right things can shift the trajectory of your life. A future filled with clarity, peace, health, success, and fulfillment doesn't just arrive. It's built day by day in the details of your habits. If you want a calmer mind, maybe your routine includes a few quiet minutes of morning habits that shape your mindset, meditation or journaling. If you want stronger relationships, maybe it includes a call to a loved one or undistracted dinner with family. If you want better finances, maybe it includes tracking your spending and saving a small amount. It doesn't take hours a day. It just takes priority. And when something becomes a priority in your routine, it becomes a priority in your life. People often look for shortcuts or massive changes to improve their lives. But real change is slow, steady, and rooted in discipline. Your routine is like a script for your day. And if you write it with purpose, your days start to align with the life you envision. The hard truth is you can't wish your way to a better life. You can only work your way into one. And that work is done quietly through repetition inside your daily schedule. What you do when no one's looking says more about your direction than what you do in public. You can set goals once a year, but you live routines every day. The routine always wins because it's the system that runs your life, whether you notice it or not. Changing your routine is like turning the steering wheel of a ship. It might feel slow at first, but over time, it takes you to a completely different destination. Morning habits shape your mindset for the entire day. The way you begin your day determines how you carry yourself through the next 24 hours. Your thoughts, your emotions, your choices, and your energy are all deeply influenced by how you start your morning. Many people wake up and immediately fall into reaction mode. They check their phones, scroll through social media, reply to messages, and absorb the world's noise before they even speak a word or take a breath for themselves. When you allow external voices to dominate your morning, you surrender control of your mindset. You hand over your mental state to notifications, headlines, and distractions. That's why intentional morning habits matter so much. They allow you to take ownership of your day before the world gets a chance to pull you in 1,000 directions. A strong morning doesn't have to be complex. It just has to be consistent and purposeful. Even a simple routine, stretching for 5 minutes, drinking a glass of water, writing down 3 goals, or taking a few moments in silence can have a powerful impact on your attitude. Those moments center you, give you space to think clearly and set a tone of focus, discipline, and gratitude. When you take time in the morning to align with your values and your priorities, you don't spend the day chasing distractions. You move with purpose, with intention, and with calmness. The morning becomes your foundation, your anchor, your chance to prepare mentally, emotionally, and physically for whatever challenges lie ahead. Successful people around the world all understand the power of a morning routine. It's not about being a power morning person. It's about being a disciplined person. Whether you rise early or later, what matters is how you use the first part of your day. Those first few decisions, whether you hit snooze, whether you make your bed, whether you fuel your body or feed your mind, send a signal to your brain about how seriously you're taking your goal. When you start strong, you're more likely to continue strong. Momentum builds fast in the morning, and when you direct it positively, it carries you through tasks that require energy, focus, and clarity. Morning habits also help you develop self-respect. When you commit to showing up for yourself before anyone else, you build a sense of trust within. You're no longer waking up feeling behind, feeling anxious, or feeling out of control. Instead, you're grounded, you're aware. Focus, clarity, and long-term vision of your power. You're prepared, and over time, that preparation turns into confidence. You begin to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who's not controlled by moves or chaos. That mindset makes a huge difference in how you speak, how you make decisions, how you lead, and how you handle setbacks. It's easy to overlook the importance of mornings because they come every day, but that's exactly why they matter so much. What you do every morning is what you're becoming. If you start your day in frustration, in confusion, or in apathy, you carry that into every interaction, every responsibility, every opportunity. But if you start your day grounded in purpose, gratitude, and discipline, you build a pattern of excellence. Morning habits don't just prepare you for the day, they train you for life. They shape your perspective. And perspective is everything. 2 people can face the same obstacle, but the one with a strong morning routine may face it with calmness, creativity, and resilience, while the other reacts with fear, doubt, or procrastination. The difference is mindset. And mindset starts in the morning. Each morning gives you a new chance to set the tone, to reset your focus, to recommit to the person you want to become. When you stop seeing mornings as something to rush through and start seeing them as the launch pad for greatness, you unlock a new level of growth. Discipline in small, things train your character for big opportunities. Most people want success, recognition, and a breakthrough, but few are willing to master the little things when no one is watching. The truth is, greatness doesn't show up in a single moment. It's revealed through a lifetime of small, disciplined choices. It's in how you handle your mornings, how you talk to people, how you manage your time, how you treat your body, how you respond when things don't go your way. Every one of those small choices is shaping your character, and it's character, not talent, not luck, not connections, that ultimately determines how far you go when big doors open. People often overlook the importance of small disciplines because they seem so ordinary. Making your bed, showing up on time, keeping promises, sticking to your word. These things might not seem exciting, but they build a solid foundation inside you. That foundation is what keeps you grounded when life gets chaotic. It's what allows you to stay calm under pressure, to lead with integrity, and to perform at your best, even when conditions aren't perfect. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And when you practice it in everyday decisions, you're training yourself for the bigger test that life will throw at you. The people who succeed in life, avoiding habits that keep you stuck, don't magically become disciplined when the opportunity arrives. They've already developed the habits that make success possible. They've trained themselves to be dependable, to stay focused, to do the work even when they don't feel like. That kind of discipline doesn't come from motivation. It comes from commitment. Motivation is temporary, but commitment is a decision. When you decide to live with discipline in the small things, you're proving to yourself and the world that you can be trusted with more. You're showing that you respect your own time, your own goals, and your own growth enough to do what needs to be done. Even when no one is clapping, every big opportunity in life comes with pressure. Whether it's a promotion, a performance, a relationship, or a challenge, you will be tested. And when that test comes, you won't rise to the level of your potential. You'll fall to the level of your preparation. Discipline prepares you. It gets you ready before the spotlight hits. It sharpens your instincts, clears your focus, and builds your resilience. If you haven't built discipline when things are easy, you'll crumble when things get hard. That's why discipline in small things matters so much, is how you train for the big moments that are still ahead. Character is revealed in how you handle the quiet seasons of life. It's easy to show up when the rewards are obvious, when the stakes are high, or when people are watching. But who are you when it's just you and your choices? Do you keep going when the results are slow? Do you stay consistent when no one is cheering you on? Do you act with excellence, even in small responsibilities? Those moments are not wasted. They are shaping the person you're becoming. They are shaping the person you are becoming. They are preparing you for the next level, and they are qualifying you for greater things. The most powerful people you ever meet are not necessarily the most gifted or the most lucky. They are the ones who master self-discipline. They learn how to say no to distractions, how to delay gratification, how to control their emotions, and how to focus their energy on what matters. That level of control gives you an edge in any situation. It allows you to keep your standards high even when circumstances are low. It allows you to stay in the game longer, push through setbacks, and lead with strength. Discipline is not about being perfect, it's about being consistent, being intentional, and being committed to growth no matter what. Fasting transformation starts with daily commitment, not dramatic change. So many people believe that in order to completely change their lives, they need to make a huge leap, a massive move, a major breakthrough, a powerful moment that resets everything. But in reality, true transformation is rarely born out of one single dramatic act. It comes quietly, steadily, and gradually through breaking through mental barriers. Consistent daily action is not about doing something extraordinary one time. It's about doing the ordinary with purpose every single day. It's about showing up even when it's hard. It's about making a decision and then making that same decision again tomorrow and the next day and the day after that. Commitment is not a feeling. It's a choice that lives in your actions. When someone truly transforms, it doesn't happen overnight. It begins in the hidden places. It begins when no one is watching. It begins when a person decides to take their life seriously, not just in moments of motivation, but in their everyday behavior. They start taking care of their health, not by doing a complete diet overhaul in one day, but by choosing to drink water instead of soda. They commit to becoming more focused, not by locking themselves in a room for 12 hours of work, but by eliminating just one distraction from their day. They start getting stronger mentally, not by reading 10 books in a week, but by taking 10 quiet minutes to reflect each morning. These are not dramatic changes. They're small decisions made with big intention. And over time, they compound into transformation. Commitment means doing what needs to be done even when the excitement wears off. It means staying consistent even when progress is slow. It means trusting the process even when results aren't visible yet. Many people give up too soon because they're addicted to speed. They want instant results, fast feedback, and quick rewards. But anything worth having takes time. It takes patience. It takes a mindset that values long-term gain over short-term comfort. Real transformation doesn't rush. It roots itself deep. It becomes part of who you are. And that kind of change is unshakable. Think about a tree. It doesn't grow tall in a day. It takes years of reaching toward the sun, surviving storms, growing deeper roots, and adding quiet rings of strength. That's what daily commitment looks like. It doesn't always feel powerful. It doesn't always feel like it's working, but it is. Every day you show up, every time you push through resistance, a small step you take, it all adds up. It builds resilience, character, and inner strength. It moves you one step closer to becoming the person you were meant to be, not by accident, not by force, but by steady, committed effort. People, final words of empowerment, often say they want change, but what they really want is the result of change without the work. They want the transformation without the sacrifice. But that's not how life works. Anything real, anything meaningful requires commitment. And the most powerful form of commitment is the one that shows up daily. It doesn't scream. It doesn't need recognition. It just keeps going because it understands that the most important changes happen slowly, over time, as a result of repeated choices. When you wake up each morning to recommit to your vision, you are setting the tone for your entire life. You're saying, I'm not waiting for the perfect moment. I'm not chasing a shortcut. I'm doing the work today. And that work might be as simple as sticking to your morning routine, as quiet as taking a walk instead of scrolling your phone, as focused as writing down your goals instead of complaining about your situation. But these small acts of commitment build momentum. They shape habits. They develop identity. And that identity becomes the foundation of lasting transformation.